What is up, YouTube? My name is Evan, and today we're going to take a look at a deck I've been wanting to look at for a while, and that is Mega Houndoom. This guy is kind of a monster, and I think there are a lot of advantages he can really play up. He's 210 HP, and for 2 fire he deals 80 damage, but if you discard all fire attached to him, he can deal 80 more, which means he's got a 2 fire energy attack that can deal 160 damage. And what we're going to try to do in this deck is quickly power him up, and he's pretty much the whole core of the deck by himself, with, of course, regular Houndoom EX to get up to him. But basically, the whole idea of the deck is to get this guy up and start dealing one-hit KOs with him. So we're running 4 Mega Houndooms for just that reason. And, of course, we'll also be running 4 of the regular Houndoom EX. Now, his Melting Horn, of course, is pretty important, as it is a nice alternate win condition. If for some reason we can't inflict damage or we can't inflict meaningful damage, we can try Melting Horning to actually, alternatively win by running our opponent out of prizes, which is a nice alternative win condition. To support this, we've got Hoopa EX, who can be great for picking up your Houndoom EX and your Mega right away, and he can also get you some other nice support mons, such as Shaman EX. We're running 2 of this guy because we have a fair amount of discards and we can play things out pretty quickly. So this guy can always offer us some extra draw, pretty important there. And we are running 1 Camerupt EX with Explosive Jet. This is sort of your backup attacker, just to sort of have another mon who can go offensive. With Blacksmith, it's not hard to see his Explosive Jet getting powered up because, however, because we don't, Mega Houndoom doesn't need double colorless energy, we're not running any double colorless energies, so be aware of that. And also be aware that Burning Energy will only come back to Camerupt EX when he discards it off himself. If he discards it off another Pokemon, it will not come back. So be careful how you use Explosive Jet, but it can be a nice way to pick up pretty much guaranteed KOs. And in fact, you can even one-shot Megas if you got 5 energies around your playfield, which isn't hard to do with Blacksmith, of course. So you can one-shot Megas with this guy if you absolutely have to. So he's nice to have around as a backup. And speaking of backups, we are running 1 copy of Bunnelby. This is the Omega Barrage one. This helps support our alternative win condition of decking people out because, you know what, we can go that route. It's not the idea of this particular deck, but it's nice to have the option. But also, because everything else is an EX, this guy basically doesn't even give our opponent any prizes when he gets knocked out. Reason being, that 1 prize isn't going to make a difference unless your opponent's got something with Delta Plus. Because everything else in the deck is worth 2 prizes apiece, and since your opponent has to get 6 to win, the 1 doesn't matter in the slightest. So this guy can be a nice chump blocker, and even 1 turn of using, let's say, Rototiller. I mean, think about the options of getting, say, like 2 Versus Seekers back in your deck, for example, or getting back some energies or like an energy retrieval or Blacksmith if you're in really, really, really dire straits. Like, let's say you had to do some really unpleasant Sycamores early in the game. This guy can restock your deck with things that you desperately, desperately need. Because, of course, Versus Seeker won't always be the answer. I mean, think if you're facing Seismitoad, for example. Might need some other answers. But anyway, just food for thought there. As far as supporters go, we're running 3 Blacksmith. We're going to be playing this a lot. It's one of our go-to supporters. This way, Mega Houndoom can discard basic energies, and he doesn't care, and you can always have him powered up. And, of course, Camerupt doesn't mind him either. But pretty crucial supporter there. And the next one in line is, of course, Sycamore. He puts fire energies in the discard and keeps us kind of chugging along and drawing cards. That's always nice. We're running double Skyless because we want to get lots of items. We want to be able to get like our stadium, and we want to be able to get like our Spirit Link and whatnot. So she's pretty crucial as well. We're running 1 Giovanni Scheme, and this isn't just as an alternative draw card that's okay, but it's mainly because in case we can't get our Spirit Link off Mega Houndoom, which we'll talk about that in a little bit more in a second, but in case your Mega Houndoom is Spirit Linked, well, he's only going to be dealing 160. This guy allows you to deal an extra 20, which is 180, which knocks up pretty much all normal Pokemon EX, who are usually at 170 or 180 HP. So this guy's a nice way that even if you're Spirit Linked, you can still theoretically score 1-hit KO. So he's pretty nice to have around for you to Versus Seeker up. We also have Lysander for all the obvious reasons. And we're running Zurasic. Not only does this help protect us from the dreaded Seismitoad and just generally hamper opponents who rely on special energies and whatnot, his ability to pick off tools, yeah, that can be important against your opponent, but can also pick off your Spirit Link and allow you to play down a new tool like one of our Muscle Bands, which can allow our Mega Houndoom to deal 180 damage. So Zurasic is a pretty nice utility card for us. And last but not least, we've got AZ, because picking up our Mons to deny our opponent KOs is amazing. And we don't really mind the energy loss that AZ is going to yield, because we can easily just replay him and then Blacksmith on the next turn to have him go full force again. So AZ is quite useful. It's a great way to block prizes for our opponents, and even chump block with EXs if we have to for a turn and not lose prizes the next turn for all the damage. As far as our items go, we're running 3 Houndoom Spirit Links. We're running 4 Versus Seekers. That makes us a little supporter, a little Versus Seeker heavy. But the way the deck is, we just have to make that. We just have to do that to draw them. You're going to end up discarding some anyway, probably along the way, but that's fine. We're running 3 Battle Compressors. These can compress your fire energies, but also use them to compress a lot of your one-of supporters like Lysander, Zerasic, AZ, things like that. This can be a great way to put them in and make sure you can Versus Seeker them when you need. You can dunk 1 Blacksmith. If you've already got a Versus Seeker, and you can use it to even dunk like a Skyla or a Sycamore, obviously, to be able to go through your hand that turn. So pretty useful there. We got 3 Ultra Balls. They ditch our fire energies and extra supporters, obviously. And they can also make sure that we have those right Mons, like make sure you have the Houndoom, or go get the Hoopa, even better. Things like that there. We do have a stadium. We're running 3 Scorched Earth. It's nice to be able to draw cards while also putting fire energy in the discard, which is kind of the point of this card in the first place, but it's also a great way to cancel out opposing stadiums and give our opponents problems there. So that's pretty nice. We're running 1 Professor's Letter just to make sure we've got it, and this goes well with our Scorched Earth as well. It's a good Skyla target. We have 1 Energy Retrieval just in case we really need that manual attachment from our hand. This can be a great way to get those energies back, and it also pairs well with Scorched Earth. It's a really nice one-of in this deck. I'm a fan anyway. We're running 2 Muscle Band because obviously our Spirit Link is a little more important, but the ability to Muscle Band our Mega is pretty important. And we do have a Tool Retriever. I'm going to go ahead and split so we can pick up our Spirit Links and reuse them later, and in the meantime have room to put down our Muscle Bands. We do have other ways to get our extra damage for KOs against EXs, so it's not a big deal that we necessarily have a lot of Muscle Bands, but it's a nice card to definitely have access to for those 180-point hits. And our final item, we're actually running 2 Max Potions as well, because once again, losing our energies is usually not very painful in this deck. And the ability to deny a KO to an opponent can be very crucial, strategically speaking. So it's a very nice thing to have around. Now, as far as our energy goes, we're running 4 Burning Energy for all the obvious reasons, because, it's a lot of energy economy, and it can make it to where your Blacksmiths can actually set up other Pokemon instead of always having to support your active, so that's pretty good. And it's just, well, this energy is pretty obvious. I don't need to tell you guys. And we're running 8 Fire Energies to round out the deck. And that is the entire deck. That's Mega Houndoom. I think I want to revisit this card at a later time, maybe with a different build, because I feel like this card can definitely be played a number of different ways. But anyway, this is the first one that I really wanted to feature. And until next time, like, comment, subscribe. Check me out on Twitter. The link is below, and I will see you next time.